this step up in trip. Now they're being called into line, no starting stalls for a jump race, and they're off and running. So they have 3.5 miles, 22 fences in a real stamina test, and it is Professor Moriarty in the light blue and black quarters who goes on early to Count Olaf towards the outside as they cross over the first. The blinkered for the very first time, Professor Moriarty, led by 1.5 lengths to Count Olaf in second, and then in the pale blue to the inside rail, that is Dr. Fu Manchu, who is racing in third. Dr. Fu Manchu has won its last couple of starts. The favourite, Lord Voldemort, is racing now in a share off third. Towards the outside is Lord Sauron. Then in the pink and purple, right on the inside rail, Dr. No. The red and green silks of Mrs. Coulter, last but one, and held up as he usually is, Lex Luthor, the grey, at the back of the field. They go over fence number 2. They take mine died after the second home straight. Quickly they go towards the third. The leader is Professor Moriarty, led there by just over a length to Count Olaf in second, and in third, Lord Voldemort. Towards the outside of the dark blue and the pink epaulettes, that is Lord Sauron. The light blue on the inside, Dr. Fu Manchu. The horse with the noseband is Dr. No. The two who are slightly detached from the main body of the field after the first 4 fences are Mrs. Coulter up on the outside of Lex Luthor. So they now have 2 circuits ahead of them as they now race towards the setting sun for the first time. It is Professor Moriarty, certainly woken up by the blinkers for the first time, leads by just over a length as they go towards the water jump, to Count Olaf in second. Towards the inside, Dr. Fu Manchu is in third. The favourite, Lord Voldemort, is in fourth as they go over the water. And then towards the outside, Lord Sauron. Towards the inside, Dr. No. And then Mrs. Coulter and Lex Luthor jumped the water very, very slowly, the grey horse. He jumped out violently away to the left and extremely slowly. And the jockey's just looking down to see whether Lex Luthor is actually okay and whether he's going to continue in the race. He certainly was extremely slow there, the grey, and he's now a long, long way behind the others. So they're over the first of the 4 fences down the back straight, and fence number 7 coming up to them now is the first of the open ditches. And it was Professor Moriarty, the jockey, asked for a big jump, and Professor Moriarty stood a long way off that, and just confirming at the back of the field, Lex Luthor has indeed been pulled up. So the grey Lex Luthor is out of the contest. They go over the penultimate fence in the back straight for the first time, and it's Professor Moriarty who leads the way to Dr. Fu Manchu towards the inside. The light blue with the red sleeves, that is Count Olaf, who's in a very close third, and then Lord Voldemort, who is over in fourth. Towards the outside, Lord Sauron in fifth. Just being pushed along at the end of the first circuit in the pink and purple is Dr. No, and ridden very patiently at the back of the field is Mrs. Coulter, who is now last of the 7 who remain in the contest. Not yet at halfway, they've only jumped the first 9, and down the hill
pick up the horse is blind and got 3 legs only.
Leading by a couple of lengths, just a little bit close, but he's over safely, and also just going through the top of the fence on the outside was Lord Sauron. They make the turn into the home straight for the second time. Professor Moriarty leads. To the inside, Dr. Fu Manchu, and then in the red sleeve jacket towards the outside, Count Olaf. Taken wider still is Lord Sauron, followed by Lord Voldemort, who's between horses. A break then of 1.5 lengths to Dr. No, and still held up at the back of the field is Mrs. Coulter as they come into the wings of fence number 11. Professor Moriarty has had a tendency just to go through the top of his fences, flicks through the top of that one, but didn't lose any momentum at all. So on the inside, Dr. Fu Manchu, and on that one's outside, Count Olaf, and this will be the second last in another circuit. Still between horses is the favourite Lord Voldemort. Towards the stand side, Lord Sauron. On the inside, Dr. No. And still the back marker is Mrs. Coulter, with 1 more circuit of Wincanton ahead of them. And it's Professor Moriarty who's made every yard to this point. And at the back of the main body of the field, in the pink and purple, Dr. No just been niggled along for a few strides. The horse is running in snatches here, on and off the bit. For a few strides he seems to be really relishing the battle, and then he seems to stick the dummy out, and the jockey has to get into the drive for a few strides. And at the moment he's now just stalking the leaders and going a little bit better than he was about a furlong or so ago as they go over the water jump for the second and final time, and it's still Professor Moriarty who leads the way. So down the back straight They go towards fence number 15 of the 22 in the Vile Villain Chase. And it's Professor Moriarty by 2 lengths now to Count Olaf, who's been ridden along in second. Also been niggled along now is Dr. Fu Manchu towards the
mine
inside.
Mine is coming there.
Voldemort,
Look, mine is coming up there.
Sauron, and Dr. No hit that fence really hard now in last place, and he's now getting reminders and dropping off the main body of the field as they go now towards the penultimate open ditch. Over that one, and awkward in the air was Professor Moriarty, but he still leads the way to Count Olaf in second, and now the favourite, Lord Voldemort, in the dark blue with the red half sleeves, gets a reminder, being ridden along towards the outside. Lord Sauron still going well. The one taken quite wide is Mrs. Coulter as they got over that plain fence, and Lord Voldemort hit that one really hard. And so they go now towards the 5th from home, the last in the back straight and the final open ditch. Professor Moriarty, lead was 2 lengths. Towards the inside is Count Olaf, but the one who is still swinging on the bit and extending the lady rider's arms is Lord Sauron, dark blue colours with the pink epaulets. How well is he going? Problem is, what will he find when asked for a big effort in the home straight? Towards the inside, Dr. Fu Manchu is driven. So too to the outside is Mrs. Coulter. And now Lord Voldemort is dropping back to the tail of the field because Dr. No looks as though he's about to be pulled up. So they get over the cross fence. That was 4 out, and it is Professor Moriarty. Looks as though the blinkers for the first time are working the oracle at this point. He leads by 3 lengths to Count Olaf towards the inside. Still swinging away on the bit. On the wide outside is Lord Sauron, who has now got to within 2.5 lengths of his leader, and is still going so well as they come now down inside the final half mile. They have 3 more plain fences to take. It is Professor Moriarty towards the inside. The lead was just over 1.5 lengths to Lord Sauron in second. Count Olaf is in third. Lord Voldemort, the favourite, with a mountain to climb in fourth. The second from home, Professor Moriarty, quickens away from it by 2 lengths, but there in second, still stalking menacingly, is Lord Sauron. The final fence, Professor Moriarty, the jockey, throws the kitchen sink. Now, Lord Sauron is asked for his effort towards the near side. Lord Sauron has now powered to the lead. He's travelled so well, and he delivers today. Lord Sauron wins. In second, Professor Moriarty, and in third, Count Olaf. Lord Sauron travels really well throughout the contest and has delivered.